Direct marketing company Data Trade has been based in Hong Kong for 25 years, building up offices on the Chinese mainland, Taiwan and the Philippines. It brings data services, tech solutions, as well as value-added services under one roof.
Data Trade isn't only about direct marketing, it's also about outsourcing and other aspects of a business that's growing. Lillian Selenius is the founder of the company. Thanks for joining us today. How did this company start 25 years ago?
Well, I try to make a very long story short. Those days, there's nothing called direct marketing. There's only one company, a British company, going under. So I just bumped into it when I went to the US to visit my sister. And then I found that she got a lot of mail every day. And I thought that she got so many friends. And actually, it's called direct mailing. So when I came back to Hong Kong, and then I look around, and I think this is something that I should try to get into it, especially when I had a bad marriage. I had to find a way to survive, to build a career and support myself and my family.
Data Trade was in at the start of the opening up of the Chinese mainland in the 1980s. But what's going to be the next big milestone, do you think?
Well, we believe that the direct marketing in China is still very primitive. There are only two direct mail associations there, one in Shanghai, one by China Post. And so we believe that we can bring the concept into China, and hopefully they will be doing the same like Hong Kong, if not better.
Data Trade has 80 staff serving 10 departments, and its clients have included major brand names such as Chanel, HSBC, AXA and Microsoft. But with operations covering a number of diverse functions, how does Managing Director King Leung keep a focus on operations?
In a nutshell, Data Trade is predominantly a database marketing company. So everything that we do revolves around customer data. And we try to do an analysis to pick out the insights to try to do target marketing well. Now, we look at the other peripherals, if you will, from IT to call centers and so on. Those are the core elements to make the whole thing work. So we will run them in-house, but at the same time, for areas that we are not very good at, such as programming, we try to work with other partners, like Microsoft is one of our technology partners that we work with to try to provide the entire total solution for our clients.
Data Trade's involved in outsourcing, but what does your company provide which others don't?
I think this is a very good question. In fact, we got asked this question all the time. Now, at the end of the day, when you look at outsourcing, you really have to look at who the target audience is. If the target audience is a large multinational company, like let's say GE, that they want to outsource the entire back office accounting processing, then I think they would likely go to places like India or Philippines to outsource just one function in a very large scale. But then there's also another segment of companies. Typically, those are the medium-sized companies in the US, in Europe. They're running a really profitable business in their own home country. But as they expand internationally, like into China, Hong Kong, they will come in as a smaller new entrant. And in that context, they may not have the volume to outsource one function to a large outsourcing company. And instead, what they really need is actually a company that can take care of all the bits and pieces in running a virtual office for them in Asia.
Why really choose Hong Kong to set companies up?
Now, first of all, we actually have CPA firms that we've been doing business with over the past 10, 15 years. So essentially, when a client wants to penetrate into, let's say, the Hong Kong, the China markets, or Taiwan market, and so on, we actually work with different CPA firms and these local companies to help them to get a local registry, to basically get the legal entity to get started. But once we have got this in place, we actually help them to set up, the marketing processes, the fulfillment channels, the IT infrastructure, and so on, to help them to basically run the entire business remotely.
And why Hong Kong?
Well, I think Hong Kong, for one, is actually very centrally located. And also, I think we have to admit one thing, is that I think China is emerging. The Singapore is actually catching up really fast in terms of being a service center. But obviously, Hong Kong do have a place in the world in terms of being a trusted location. The rule of law, there are the language skills that we can get here, and also the central location, the target to go to the China market and go to the Southeast Asian market, all from Hong Kong. So in some ways, this is a good starting point in terms of playing a central role to coordinate all the regional business.
One of Data Trade's clients is US-based DigiKey, a rising star in the electronics components distribution business. It its outsourcing strategy led DigiKey to take on data trade for outsourcing to handle its entire Asian market. Todd Hashimoto describes how his company came to use the Hong Kong firm for key roles.
When we decided to select the service center in Hong Kong, we sat down with several other candidates, and out of several candidates, I found data trade is the best because of the very well advanced and well professional experience in the local market, and they are very professional, especially in giving the services to the customers. Our business is to let many engineers, especially design engineers, a lot of wide variety of components, and they select that, and we send those components from Minnesota to each customers all over the world. And in this sense, I think still Hong Kong is the center of the businesses, electronic businesses in Asia. Though some of the manufacturing companies are moving to China and Vietnam and other areas, but still I believe that Hong Kong is the center of the component business.
Another of Data Trade's clients is Luxembourg-based LogDirect, and Serge Sandano of that company says the relationship has spurred him to move all his and his partners' corporate interests to Hong Kong.
My Swiss partner and me, we met 3 years ago, a US partner, and we decided to go first to the Japanese, to penetrate the Japanese market. And this person helps us to meet Data Trade company, because Data Trade is specialized, as you know, in Asian market. And this is why we decided to do our first Asian business with Data Trade, because we can consider that Japan is the first step for our new Asian market, and secondly, we want to push our market to China. So first, this is why we decided to work with Data Trade. And finally, we decided, because Data Trade services are very nice, to move all our Europe and US business in Hong Kong, because it's a nice business place and with very serious people, and this was our choice 3 years ago.
Having used Hong Kong as a base for operations for 25 years, Lilian Selenius looks at how the company is positioning itself for future operations across Asia.
I think Hong Kong will not lose its importance, even though, China may be emerging. Because, we got a lot of expertise here, we got a lot of knowledge in its own field. And the most important of all is the US companies and European companies, they all want to share a part of China, but they don't know how. Language difference, cultural difference, and we can bridge the gap.